everybody, Joseph Rothschild here, aka MBT, back with another Twitter thread. Today we're talking about a very strange class of cards. Sometimes when Konami releases a new archetype, it sucks balls.
Suck my robot balls!
And as a result, people don't play it, which means that people don't buy the packs they're in, which means that Konami loses money. So occasionally we get a Hail Mary monster, usually as an exclusive in the OCG that eventually makes its way stateside, that solves all of the outstanding issues with a new deck and catapults it into tiered status. Most famously is Spiral Double Helix. Spiral was an interesting series of monsters with fun combo plays that accomplished almost less than nothing, until Double Helix came out and allowed you to summon any Spiral monster from your deck to a zone this card points to, provided you call the top card of your opponent's deck right, something the deck was adept at doing. This caused multiple Tier 0 formats where this was the only thing playable. So, today I asked you, what other Hail Mary cards can you remember from Yu-Gi-Oh's history? Let's see what you came up with. So this is maybe true in like 2012. Hysteric Stein was released and made Harpies overnight a success. It's an unbelievably powerful searcher, which allows you to add an Elegant Egotist from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Then if it's popped, add 3 Harpy cards with different names from your deck to your hand. This facilitated a pretty powerful spam strategy with the Harpies as the flagship monsters. Early post-toss format, and then later in the same year, Konami did this twice with Shadow, arguably bringing it to the top 5 decks of those given formats and gave it insane tools it could combo with Dogmatica. To be fair, were people really playing Shaddoll Pure, or were they playing Schism Turbo? Well, they tried with Zektrike Ko-Oh. It really does resolve almost all of Inzektor's problems, but in the years since Inzektor was meta, a whole host of new problems showed up. And their names are Ash Blossom, Effect Veiler, DD Crow, Dimensional Shifter, Ghost Ogre, Imperm, and Nibiru. So Magical Musketeer Max is another fantastic example. Magical Musketeers were a series of pretty weak, normal summonable monsters that enabled you to play Magical Musketeer spell traps from your hand at any point. Magical Musketeer Max is a Link 1 that can be made with any Magical Musket monster and allows you to soul charge from deck. Sadly, it did not make the deck the next Zodiac, no matter what Lithium said.
Shut the fuck up.
Mathmech unfortunately languished at release, was not good when Diameter came out, but Circular fixed almost all of the problems and rocketed it to 3rd best deck status, 4th if you're not coping. Mathmech Circular allows you to send a Mathmech from your deck to the graveyard. Sigma can already special summon itself under those conditions. That's 2 material necessary for Alimbertion without committing to a normal summon, meaning you can then go search a Diameter, normal it, and get another piece of material on your side of the field. That play became the backbone of a very powerful strategy during the past format that unfortunately fell off as people tinkered with tier limit. Please play Assault Mode. Historically, Assault Mode had exactly 1 period of success, and that was a very strange week in which people figured it was the best thing you could be splashing with exactly Dragon Rulers. Reflector changed that. It meant that E-Telly now could get you to a level 8 Synchro in Chaos Ruler, and for that reason, this was a pretty consistent inclusion in decks after its release. It eventually fell off in favor of stuff like the Punk Engine, but for a short period of time, people were unironically jamming Assault Beast and Activate for a while. Took so much to make this archetype playable. You don't understand. Before Guru came out, there were 3 or 4 waves of Subterror support that did absolutely nothing. And then the OCG gets this card 2 weeks after the TCG exclusives come stateside. And what does it do? Everything. I will say, literally every Plunder release has been exactly what Plunder needed. And it's always meta for about a week and a half before people decide it sucks ass again. It is very funny that they just looked at Rika's main mechanic where you have to like tribute a plant monster in order to special them from your hand, and they said, and what if we took the tribute off? Suship is not going to be taking down any YCSs in the foreseeable future, but Shari Red is a truly busted piece of legacy support. It allows you to play 6 copies of Shari, which is unbelievable. It's a free rank 4 that can proc all of your Gunkan Suship effects. I like it. Wow. You know, I thought the Dire was a real generator head, but here she is, truly discounting the power of Nidhogg control. Raid Raptors had a whole ton of high-rank monsters and no way of getting any of them out without just getting lucky and drawing the right rum. Couldn't do much of anything. Then Wise Strix dropped and suddenly amazing free searches for everything they needed. Wise Strix still stands out to me as a card that is just so very, very close. Oh, it is seconds from being broken. Okay, so Spirit Dragon came out alongside a bunch of new Blue Eyes support. But for what it's worth, these weren't necessarily Hail Marys as much as they were. We know that these cards are busted to shit, but think of the press that we're going to get once mainstream publications start producing articles that say Blue Eyes wins Yu-Gi-Oh! Worlds. I think a solid third of all the cards in Power of the Elements, just an entire pack chock full of, we're sorry, here's a +4. Crawler Soma absolutely has rocketed Crawler to something resembling playability, a sentence that I never would have said in 2018. Melfi Wally. Okay, I guess we're considering these in Sprite. It allows you to special 2 Melfis from your deck with different names than each other, and one of them is a tuner. How about Mathmech Circular? What about Exo-Sister Martha? Coder's a little bit biased, but yes. He says, taking an old-ass archetype out of unplayability and into the meta by giving it insane ways to OTK going second, and any line plus this to block Dragon was an FTK going first. Phantom Quartz, the first time you read it, every single bell in your head just goes off. You go, oh, yeah, this is going to be a terrible format. There were like 3 consecutive formats where we were just reading the Orchest cards and we were like, these have got to be playable in something. And then Nightmare came out. In the same set as Dingirsu. As the same set as Crescendo. This was, sometimes you throw a Hail Mary and you miss. Catalyst Field is a wonderful example of a miss. Please play Gemini, said Konami, and we, the Yugi playing public, looked directly in their eye and said, no, not a bad one. Heroes were functionally unplayable before Stratos came out, and then overnight they became one of the most beloved and consistently playable archetypes in Yu-Gi-Oh's history. This is a pretty good answer. So BA was good before Beatrice came out, but Beatrice pushed the deck into near tier 0 territory. It was unbelievable that we got this card at all. It made BA decks meta again for multiple formats, even while she was at 1. Oh my goodness, what a wonderful, wonderful addition to the card pool. Unfortunately, she looks like shit. Zoom in on her nose real quick. Heavy Metal Foes Electromite single-handedly resuscitated the Pendulum strategy, and boy, did it do so. Don't unban this card. You know, people keep saying this, but I have not seen Beyond the Pendulum played in anything. Ban this card. Gravekeeper spent about 7 years being Spy and maybe Guard. Descendant kind of replaced Guard because all of a sudden you could flex them into removal spells, but it did jack all to the meta. Who expected that all it would take was a Sangan to rocket them to near tier 0 status? Recruiter plus Steel. Unbelievably powerful cards. Not a bad answer here. So many people don't remember that Rocket was an archetype for like 6 months before Tracer came out. Once Tracer came out and Striker Dragon along with it, all of a sudden it was meta viable, but every single set before that, just more bulk. Oh, it wasn't 6 months. It was 2 years. Thank you, chat. Another great answer. Surprised I had to scroll down so much for this one. Prank Kids were fine beforehand. I guess they did win a YCS without Meow Moo. But the thing that brought them back to metagame contention was a Link 1. For a long time, it was speculated that if Prank Kids ever got a Link 1, they would immediately be very powerful, and they were. This was maybe the first one. Boy, did they try with W Nebula Meteorite. This card has tops. Shouts out to SoRob. Yes, Blaze Accelerator Reload made Volcanic a 2006 looking ass archetype meta relevant for one beautiful, beautiful format in the middle of 2015. You know, there was a time when we didn't have Baylinks. If you want to experience that, go play Duel Links right now without investing 15 hours into grinding Theodore. So if you're unfamiliar, Chronomaly was almost a playable deck, but we were missing exactly this card, which was so critical to all of its plays. It was out in the OCG, and we didn't get it until years later, and by the time we did, the meta had surpassed it. This card put the complete Frog package together into absurd combos. Surprises me that it took 12 years to realize Substitute, aka 18 bricks, wasn't the main problem card. This is the boy, the lad, absolutely critical to Dark World success. There just wasn't that much of it. You all came up with some really good ones for this, but one thing you didn't come up with is the upcoming card that's going to fix Pacifist the Phantasm City. Konami. Third Spiral Trap any day now, right? Oh shit, there already is a third Spiral Trap, right? Assault. Fourth Spiral Trap. Don't put a fucking alt win on it this time.